Books to change your mindset. These are some books that have changed my mindset, and I hopefully think they will change yours. So I'm going to link them all in the description down below for you to pick up from bookshop.org or Waterstones. But let's get right into it, with the first one being Psychopolitics. This one has changed my mindset, and I feel a little bit hypocritical right now talking about this book because of literally what the book is about. I don't think I can properly explain what this book is about. I think you should go off and read it. I think Byung-Chul Han is a fantastic writer, and his book Burnout Society is one of the ones a lot of philosophers recommend you read as well. But Psychopolitics, how do I describe this? Basically, Psychopolitics is all about how we have created a culture around basically creating our own system of censorship and control around each other, something that authoritarian regimes in the past would have worked overtime to try and create. But in part, the society that we have created, particularly this online society where we are all kind of within this certain social framework, and if you do not fit into this social framework, which is all based around likes and saying the right thing to get those likes and thumbs up and retweets and views on YouTube right now, it's like we are doing this to ourselves. Like, the government isn't doing this necessarily. The corporations kind of are doing this, but we are the ones who have decided in this society, this is what we need to do to be functioning. We have to have a certain way of talking. We have to have a certain opinion on things online. The way we operate online has to be a certain way. And it is terrifying. He basically says we've created our own panopticons for ourselves. Panopticon was this kind of prison idea where there's the structure in the middle and you can see everything that the prisoners are doing. Me literally doing this is like that. I need to give the right perspective on the books. I need to talk about the books the right way. I need to give the right opinion on the books. Truthfully, I want to make YouTube my full-time job in 2026. I run multiple YouTube channels, and to do that, am I gonna have to try and fit into a certain box, even if it is one that is outside of this mainstream framework? Am I still trying to put myself into a, am I self-centered? You know what I mean? I didn't plan to have this kind of breakdown whilst I'm recording this, but god damn it, this book gave me that. It changed my mindset around social media. And even though maybe I'm still going to pursue this YouTube as a full-time gig thing, it really was like, you need to think, my guy. You gotta be, and it goes into slightly broader issues and stuff surrounding it, or at least surrounding this kind of society that we've created. It's up next is Sayaka Murata's Earthlings. Sayaka Murata's quite famous now. I think most people have read Convenience Store Woman. I haven't actually, so I should get onto that. But I've read Earthlings, and I think this book changed my mindset in the fact that maybe Han Kang's A Vegetarian was the closest thing for me to doing this, but this book really made me kind of change my mindset around how I will look at a certain type of writing, how I will look at something that is quite off-putting, perhaps, something that's very not mainstream isn't the right word. Off-putting is the closest thing I can think of, but actually dig into why that off-putting aspect of it is there. Because this book is very unsettling throughout, but it's unsettling for a reason. It is, I don't want to get too spoiler heavy with this actually, but there is trauma and abuse that is being processed through this book, and the way with which the characters get through that trauma is in a way that is quite unsettling to us. And when I first read this book, I hadn't quite developed the mindset to like think at that other level. And I think I took a conversation with a friend about this book for me to be like, you know what, actually no, I get it. I need to take that step deeper, actually go back, look a little bit at the whole story as a whole, look at the key points that the book hits on, and try and get an understanding of these characters. It's a very character-driven book, and thus I kind of was like, okay, I get it. I get what Murata was going for, and actually fucking kudos to them for writing this and actually exposing us to that trauma that the character is going through. It really did change the mindset with which I look at fiction books. And I must have been maybe 22, 23 when I did that. And the final book I want to talk to you about is No Rules Rules by the people who made Netflix. And this changed my mindset in the fact that I am happy to say fuck you to a certain book and a certain model of business. No Rules Rules basically glorifies Netflix's pretty abusive model of working with their workers. They basically detail like, we make those people scared to lose their jobs. We cut people when we think they aren't giving 150% of this job, where they're definitely not being paid enough for their labor, guys. And guess what? We have been really successful doing that. And what? And I was given this book by a manager of mine who I very deeply respect. During COVID or just before COVID, I can't fully remember. And I think this is because the business world was being taken by storm by Netflix at this point. I don't think we realize how much Netflix really grew during COVID because we were all stuck at home. But this was like when they were like, everyone was like, oh shit, yeah, Netflix has put everyone on notice. And so I feel like this manager was like, this is such an inspiring model of work, and I think they were trying to, get me into that next step in the corporate ladder. I think this is a gentleman who, I have deep respect for, was very close to when we worked together. And I think he was trying to be like, his thought process was, I want to ensure you have like a well-paid job going forward. I want I want you to maybe step up and take my job if I step up as well. But having actually gotten around to reading it about 4 to 5 years afterwards, I'm just like, this is like the antithesis of my belief system now as a grown-up. And I'm sure he's probably changed as well. I've not spoken to him in many a year, but just it changed my mindset from being like, oh no, it did. Okay, it changed my mindset in the fact that I was like, actually, yeah, no, I hate these people. Beforehand, I was like, oh, maybe they're just a victim of the circumstances of capitalism. But no, these are like genuinely bad people in my opinion, and they are glorifying basically abusing their workers. They are glorifying making their workers feel like, if I am not going above and beyond all the time, I have a risk of losing my livelihood, which, yeah, that's an abusive relationship. And it changed my mindset from being like, maybe even sometimes the leaders are victims of capitalism. But no, they are just playing the game of capitalism completely. They aren't victims of their circumstances. They are the perpetuators of those circumstances and have found a way to manipulate and reap benefits from this corrupt system that we have. I'm not blaming my old manager for that. I'm sure he just got swept up in the desire to read this book that probably everyone in his circles was reading as well and thought I would enjoy it too. Maybe when I was 21. maybe. So those are 3 books that can change your mindset. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any books that you've read that have changed your mindset. This isn't an exhaustive list. Obviously, there are probably more books that I can probably think of, so maybe I'll do another one of these videos further on down the line. But like I said, comment books that have changed your mindset. I love doing that voice, down below. And before we get to the outro, I want to say a special thank you to my members. Members get access to additional videos, they get access to a book club, there's a movie club tier, so you can join from as little as £1 a month. You do that by clicking the join button down below or on my channel, but if not, thank you for getting this part of the video. Remember to like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or family member, and hey, I hope you read a great book today and change your mindset.